Welcome to Now. I'm your host, Curtis Parody, bringing you the news happening in the world right now. Well, it's just Monday, but the week's starting out with a bang. You've seen it multiple times in movies, a crazy get-out-of-jail plan that involves a helicopter and a crazy police chase. Well, yesterday, it actually happened. Yes, at a jail just north of Montreal, Quebec, in my home country of Canada, 2 inmates escaped yesterday when a helicopter flew over the jail, lowered a rope, and took the inmates away. After this, the police manhunt was on for the fugitives. During this chase, though, it's reported that once the police officers got close enough to the chopper, the escaped convicts began actually shooting at the police. It wasn't until midnight last night that the men became surrounded and finally gave themselves up to the police. The men were then taken back to jail, and the poor helicopter pilot, who was actually forced to fly the craft, was treated for shock and, of course, will be questioned about this crazy escape attempt. Now, first things first, after hearing about this crazy escape, I just had one thing to say. Props to the men who probably put this all together. I get it, you watched some awesome movie last weekend and you thought, you know what, that's an awesome way to get Jim out of jail. What could possibly go wrong? The thing that runs, of course, through my mind is, at what point did you think this was going to work? You do realize that the chopper that you're flying away in has a form of GPS in it. You know, it needs it to navigate, which of course is a good thing, because then you know where the frick you are in the world. But also, that GPS kind of works against you because you can track that. The smarter thing would have been to ditch the chopper as soon as you possibly could, then move on to some other form of transportation. But then again, what the heck do I know? I've never broken out of jail. From breaking out of jail to EA and the SimCity team trying to break the perception of their game. Let's face it, the first week of SimCity being available to users was a complete fail. It's gotten better now as the servers are more stable and such, but many questions around the game still linger. Like the question why they didn't add an offline mode, which according to this hacker is possible, and he demonstrates it in this video. Or the fact that EA told us the game needed to run on their servers, because of course it was so frickin' complicated. Each sim had their own little life and their own little house and their job and everything else in between, except if you look at this video, it's been proven to be a complete and utter lie. Look at the Sims coming home from work. They just go to the next available house. Either it's a strange coincidence that the Sims would travel in order to their homes, or the truth to a lie created by EA. Oh, and last but certainly not least is the routing system, which does not look at the density of roads, but yet the shortest path between point A and point B. So much for the most advanced simulation game coming out of EA in 10 years. So with those huge points aside, the SimCity team did decide to try and make amends to all of the people who have already bought the game by giving us a free game from their library. Yes, that's right, EA would be giving us a free game. When I heard about this, I was both ecstatic and also a little wary, because what games? Any game or a select few? Well, the list today has been released, and it's more of a select few. So let's go through them, shall we? And while I do this, I will name the retail price that you can find that game on the Origin online store, just so you know. Starting with Battlefield 3, the Standard Edition, which retails for $39.99. Bejeweled 3, which retails for $19.99. Dead Space 3, also the Standard Edition, $59.99. Mass Effect 3, the Standard Edition, $19.99. Medal of Honor Warfighter, the Standard Edition, of course, which retails for $29.99. Need for Speed Most Wanted, Standard Edition, again, $49.99. Plants vs. Zombies, a grand total of $10. And SimCity 4 Deluxe Edition, probably the one you're most going to want to get because you did buy SimCity after all. This retails for a grand total of $19.99. So if you register your copy of SimCity before March 26th, then you're entitled to one of the games I just listed. Be sure to take advantage of this offer while it lasts, because who knows the next time EA will be giving out free games like this. So from video game news to YouTube news, and a brand new, first of its kind online global talent competition will be coming to your computer, tablet, smartphone, or really any connected device that accesses YouTube in the near future. Yes, and it will be judged by none other than Simon Cowell, the famous American Idol and X Factor judge. YouTube is partnering with Cowell's company Psycho to launch the first ever online global talent competition, where over the next 12 months, YouTubers will be able to upload videos to reveal their skills and talents, from cooking and fashion to surprise, singing and dancing. This will all be happening on the U Generation channel here on YouTube. The competition will launch in 26 countries starting this Wednesday, March 20th, and will run for a whopping 52 weeks. YouTube released a statement about this entire thing, stating that every submission will be judged by Psycho executives and experts in their relative field. Finalists will then be chosen every 2 weeks, with the winner being announced on the second Friday of every contest. The winner of this first-of-its-kind show will get a cash prize of an undisclosed amount of money and will gain recognition on a global platform, aka YouTube. In the end of all of this, the winners of each category will then go on to compete against one another for a grand prize. So there you go. If you're talented in one of those categories I listed, then you should totally think about checking this out and entering the competition. If not, well, I got nothing for you. Personally, I think it'll be interesting to see how this whole thing kind of plays out online. Maybe it'll be a success, but maybe it won't. It's hard to say. Well, I saved the best for last. I know this has been talked about before in the world, but for the first time ever, it appears that the first tests are being done to clone a species back from extinction. Yep, it's science to the rescue. Ben Novak is responsible for wanting to bring back the passenger pigeon. This bird went extinct in 1914, and because it ran amok through the 19th century America, there's plenty of its DNA left around that will help Novak bring the bird back to life. Surprisingly, Novak already has a roadmap in place to bring the bird back to life. First, using the genome of a rock pigeon, which just happens to be the same as the passenger pigeon, he will then inject the new chromosomes into the pigeon using nuclear transfer. This, just to let you know, is the same way they cloned Dolly the sheep. Once this is complete, the new passenger pigeon should grow inside of a rock pigeon egg, and once hatched, the species will no longer be extinct. Now, of course, this is only the first step in a long road to other animals that could be brought back, and scientific advancements that need to be done to bring them back. Since the passenger pigeon went extinct only a century ago, it's a lot easier to bring back than the woolly mammoth, which went extinct a lot longer ago. But this is a good first step. So with all this talk about bringing animals back from extinction, I want to know, what animal would you like to see brought back from extinction? Tell me in the comments section below, or of course you can always let me know on my Facebook page, through Twitter, or on Google+. Links to all that and the other topics I talked about in today's episode in the description below, along with the always amazing subscribe button. So until next time, I'm Curtis Parody, and that's what's happening now. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video today. You can of course check out more videos I create by clicking on them below. Check out Now for the latest news happening in the world right now, Paradise Gaming for some fun gameplay videos, or of course my personal vlog channel to see what I'm like outside of my studio. Also, if you're interested in supporting the show and getting some new clothes for yourself, check out the store at thecurtisparodystore.ca. See you guys later.